Hi everybody, this is a tutorial on how to do a slip knot to start your crochet work. I've noticed a lot of people have a hard time learning how to do a slip knot, but I think it's just a matter of there's so many different ways to do it. There's something that makes sense to everybody. So I'm going to present probably 3 or 4 different ways on how to do this here. The most important thing about the slip knot, no matter how you decide to do it, is that it actually slips. So I have this tied here now. You can see I can make this bigger just by pulling on my crochet hook on this thread here, or I can make it smaller by pulling on my threads down here and getting it to conform more to my hook. And that is the only thing your slip knot needs to do. As long as it moves, then you're fine. Alright, so for the first method I'm going to show you on how to make a slip knot is the one I use, and it makes sense to me. It may not make sense to you. If it doesn't, feel free to skip ahead. I grab the tail end of my yarn in my left hand, and I wrap my yarn twice around my 2 fingers, my pointer and my middle finger. And so it really looks like I have 3 strands of yarn here. This is my tail, and these 2 are wrapped with the long piece of yarn, which is still attached to my ball. And then what I do is I turn my fingers over and I grab my hook, and I put my hook under the first one. I grab the second one through, so the second one is now the first one, and then I do that again, go under the first one, grab the second one through, and then I have my slip knot made. So that is the first method I'm going to show you. The second method I'm going to show you is similar to that. I'm going to grab the tail end of my yarn in my left hand. I'm going to take the long end of my yarn and I'm going to wrap it around once so it kind of creates an X here, you can see with my 2 fingers. And then what I'm going to do is turn my hand over. I'm going to take my hook, I'm going to grab the second piece of yarn. I probably did that too fast, sorry. I'm going to grab the second piece of yarn, the yarn closest to my hand, and pull it through. And as I do that, I'm going to make sure that I'm holding on to the 2 pieces of yarn, both the tail end and the long end, and then I'm just going to pull. And that's actually a little simpler than method 1 that I just showed you of a way to make a slip knot. Okay, the third method I'm going to show you on how to make a slip knot is just to take your tail end in your left hand and the other end in your right, and twirl this around as if you were starting to make an actual knot. So you're going to have the tail end of your yarn over the long end of your yarn, if you can see that there. Let me fix that. Okay, the tail end over the long end, and what you're going to do is take this loop and bend it down so that it covers the long end of your yarn, and then take the crochet hook and grab the long end of your yarn, and just again keeping hold of these 2 threads down here, just pull it through. That's the third way that you can do a slip knot. Alright, the fourth way that you can do a slip knot, again with the tail in your left hand, you can wrap the yarn around just your pointer finger twice, and you can take the yarn that's this middle thread here that you can see, and you take it over the first thread, and then you take the second piece of yarn and then you put that over the first piece of yarn like that, and you just pull that through, and you have your slip knot again right there. So that's 4 different ways to make a slip knot. Again, if none of those make sense to you, you can search for slip knot out on YouTube and probably find 10 more different ways on how to make the slip knot. Those are just the ways that seemed the easiest and most straightforward to me, and I hope that one of those does work for you.